Imagine a wedding in the Arctic, a snowstorm, a winter wonderland ceremony in the woods, dog sledding adventures, and the northern lights showing up at the perfect moment. This is a story of how it all came together. Hi, I'm Tanya, an adventure wedding and elopement photographer based in Norway. Today I'm going to show you something very special and very unique. A wild and emotional story of how I planned and photographed a wedding under the northern lights here in Norway for a couple from United States. Watch the whole video to see how it unfolds. A couple of months prior to this wedding, a journalist from Germany reached out to me. She wanted to write a story about wedding under the northern lights. This wedding would be a perfect occasion, so when the bride and groom said that it was okay, Marla booked her tickets to Alta and came. Little did you know that she's going to be both videographer and wedding assistant during the day, but let's start from the beginning. Bride and groom, Karen and Casey, wanted a snowy fairy tale in the woods, and I found the perfect spot. It was a quiet forest with a good walkable path, and the sun would be shining from a perfect direction if the day turns out to be sunny. They also wanted to start the wedding day with a morning hike where they would read their vows to each other on a mountaintop in full privacy. So I hiked the mountain near their Airbnb and checked the light conditions as well as the time consumption. This is something I always do before I suggest wedding timelines to my couples. The hiking time down the hill had to be an estimation. Me and the couple met each other in a cafe 2 days before the wedding day to finalize everything. But during the meeting we saw the blizzard coming, so we made a bold decision: move everything 1 day earlier. That meant changing locations, adjusting the timeline, and completely reworking the whole original plan, with less than 24 hours to go. Morning after, I picked Marla, the journalist, at 6:50 a.m. and the adventure began. We arrived at the Airbnb area and started scouting a brand new location for the wedding ceremony. This was not an easy task because the amounts of snow were enormous.
Do you regret something in terms of job choice?
Then the groom and the father-in-law came along and shoveled the spot for the ceremony. It took a good while. In the meantime, me and Marla went to the Airbnb where Karen and her family members were getting ready. Here I took some getting ready photos and detail shots. Karen was wearing a long-sleeved dress, a cozy fur jacket, a matching fur hat and winter boots. Basically the perfect outfit for an Arctic wedding. And she was a stunning bride. After a couple of hours of snow shoveling, Casey went back, took a quick shower and got ready for the ceremony. As the ceremony time approached, Karen walked through the snowy forest with her father by her side. Karen is originally from Mexico and she invited her family to experience snow for the very first time. And here they were, surrounded by trees heavy with fresh snow, sitting on benches we built just 10 minutes before the ceremony began. Casey, originally from California but now living in Texas, stood waiting with his signature cowboy hat, a nod to his new home and, honestly, a perfect addition to their Arctic wedding. The ceremony was heartfelt and personal, led by a local Norwegian celebrant. While many couples choose to have a symbolic ceremony when eloping abroad, Karen and Casey decided to make it official, right here in the Arctic. Right after the ceremony, instead of rushing off, the couple lit a campfire and invited everyone to gather around for hot chocolate, s'mores, and snowballs as a treat. Yeah, people were actually just eating snow. After some group and bride and groom portraits, they headed off to a nearby restaurant for their wedding dinner. The venue, Björnfjell Mountain Lodge, had been incredibly helpful throughout all the last-minute changes, and it was the perfect place for a couple to relax and enjoy the evening with their loved ones. The next day, adventures continued.
Hi, I'm Male. I'm a journalist reporting on, Northern Lights in Alta. And she told me that this is like the perfect spot for the Northern Lights elopements. And she, as a photographer, seems to be a real pro on that. So right now we are on our way to a husky farm because her clients, a couple, they have booked a tour there because they get a full winter experience for their elopement, from a ceremony in the snow to husky sledding and hopefully Northern Lights as well. Tonight is the night, we hope so. But first things first, husky dog sledding, and I'm excited to see how she'll manage to do not only the photography but also the local guiding. I was pretty impressed yesterday, and I'm pretty sure it will turn out great as well today because now we have different weather conditions, hopefully good enough for the dogs. I guess we'll be back.
Overnight, the landscape has changed. The trees lost their white coats and that magical winter wonderland look was gone. We had made the right call by moving the wedding day earlier. That morning we met up with everyone at Holmen Husky, where the dogs were already hyped and ready to run. Such a perfect activity for an adventure winter wedding. After a sunny day of sledding and laughter, the Arctic sky had one more surprise in store. We weren't sure the aurora would show at all. After all, the night before had been completely overcast. And with Northern Lights, there are never any guarantees. Sometimes you wait for hours, sometimes for days. But that evening, as we met up with Karen and Casey, the sky opened up and the lights were already dancing. We were lucky to watch a great aurora show for almost 2 hours, and after a while some family members joined in and we made a campfire under the aurora borealis. It felt like such a perfect wrap-up for this amazing adventure wedding, like aurora had been waiting just for this bride and groom. Sitting here with Mala, reflecting on everything that happened, it's hard not to feel grateful. This was my last wedding of this winter season 2025, and what a way to wrap it all up. Most of the time I photograph elopements with only the couple present, or sometimes the couple and their kids. But this time there were more people, more moving parts and more logistics to juggle, especially when chasing the aurora borealis. It was a challenge, yes, but also such a rewarding experience, seeing two families from opposite sides of the world come together under the Northern Lights. It's something I will never forget. I'll be back with more aurora adventures when the season returns in September. Until then, A huge thank you to everyone who helped make this dream wedding come to life, to all the awesome local vendors who helped me, and also to Male for documenting the whole entire wedding adventure. Thank you to Karen, Casey, and their wonderful families. Thank you for trusting me with your story. It was truly a big honor. If you're dreaming about your own wedding or elopement under the Aurora Borealis, I would love to help you planning it and capturing it. You can find all information on my website or in the link down below. Thank you for watching. See you soon.